This is a local favorite.
Looks like we're here.
Okay, here we go.
Ragnar the Red.
If you need a drink, just holler.
Once was a hero
Oh,
named Ragnar.
Ysolda. Didn't expect to see you here.
Wait,
So, you now work at the Bannered Mare?
wait, what?
I need more experience if I'm going to run an inn someday.
So I take this as some training then? Well, I'll be glad to be one of your first
Mister,
customers.
could you spare a coin?
Not now.
Thank you.
So, what drinks do you have on the menu?
Have you tried the wine? It's better than anything in the Blue Palace.
You have fine wine? I didn't expect that, but okay.
It's the trade capital.
But what do you think? Are you in the mood for something fancy or something casual?
I want to be fancy tonight.
Oh, I see. Well, you are with royalty. Me, really.
Poor Isolde has to watch this. Poor Isolde's like, what are they talking about? Oh,
Barkeep, I'd like a drink.
oh, okay.
Of course.
Thanks.
I'm gonna follow her. I'm gonna follow her lead.
You look like someone who can hold their liquor.
Give us your
How
best
about a
wine,
friendly
and
contest
it's
to
my
win a
treat for
staff?
tonight.
Not now, Sam.
Sure thing.
Cheers to everything you've done for me and the world.
She's not a vampire anymore, so really this doesn't fit.
You really are a numbnut. I got cured, remember?
I deserve that.
So, what's on your mind?
I do deserve that. I was just thinking about how beautiful you are, and, well, how different you look from what I'm used to.
Ugh, I swear. Sometimes it feels like you take courtship tips from Shiogarath.
Jeez!
Did
They're
you know
saying it's
that,
because of this
at
trouble
least
with the
according to
Stormcloaks?
legend, the Shiogarath we have now was actually the champion of Cyrodiil, and you might take his place. I could endorse you.
You were locked away for 2,000 years. How do you know that? Are you mocking me?
Yes, because that's just what I
Well,
do.
they wouldn't taste as good
It's
as a
fun.
loaf of fresh
Maybe
baked
it's the
pumpernickel.
Daedra in me,
Oh,
but
no.
being naughty every now and then wouldn't hurt, right?
No.
Especially in bed.
No. Okay. Alright. Where's this going?
I think you'll have to see for yourself.
Alright.
Now, let me try.
Try what?
Picture this. I lay my eyes on your charming, handsome face. I've heard you are an experienced adventurer. Could you help me? I'd like to explore this land, but first, your body. Pretty horrible, isn't it? I guess we both have a talent when it comes to this.
The way you said your body, I was just thinking of the Bane line from Dark Knight Rises. Like, I wonder what will break first, your mind or your body? And then she just breaks me over her knee. Oh, I just get sumo wrestled. I just get murdered by Serana. Are you saying I'm good at flirting? No, she's definitely not.
Yeah, really.
What?
I don't think this is everyone's idea of flirting, but hey, it works for me.
I'd flirt with
I
Bane.
suppose I'm a little eccentric, and I think it might be the same with you.
I'm not sure which is gonna break first, my mind or my body.
Now, this 1,000-year-old vampire relic is beckoning you, mighty warrior.
My mind, never mind.
You wonder what she's saying? Leaning closer and find out.
You know, everyone can see us, right? Everyone can listen to us. We're standing in the middle of the inn. Are you an exhibitionist? Is that what we're learning right now?
What do you need?
Oh, do I gotta lean in more?
Oh, you talk and you lie and you
That's it? All right.
Well,
think
I'm not.
it's high time that you lie down and
even
breathe.
It's nice spending time like this, just having drinks together. I'm glad you came. Oh, and I've been meaning to give you something.
What is it?
A little token of my affection. It's enchanted. I've made it myself. Because, as you know, I'm well versed in the arcane arts. As long as I'm nearby, it'll boost your magicka and life force. That's the catch. Just you and me against the world now. Not that I'm complaining.
This is how she keeps you around. She's like, well, you know, just, if you want the ring to work, stay with me. Necklace of Vivacity. As long as she's nearby, 50-point boost. Ooh! That's significant. That's impressive.
Want to hear a little Nord wisdom? You don't really know a woman till you had a strong...
The Bannered Mare, always a salt. Oh, I'm glad you're here.
What do you think of our friendship?
Oh?
The fact that I was
This is a
your
local
first real
favorite
friend,
and
who
first
also,
films I've ever made.
now kind of your
Ragnar
husband,
the
if
Red.
we're using labels.
It's
There once
so
was a hero named Ragnar
new.
the Red who came
I've never
riding to
really
Whiterun
experienced
from
this
Ulfric
before.
stead.
I couldn't talk and
The
jest
braggart
with the
did
rats
swagger
and the
and
skeletons in the
praise, he
castle
told
the
of
same
all
way that
battles
I
and
do
gold he
with
had
you.
made.
Not even my mother. We were
But
close
then he
for
went
a time,
quiet, did Ragnar
but
the Red, when he
even
met
then,
the shield maiden
during the
Matilda,
good
who
times,
said,
I felt there was some sort of rift between
"Oh,
us.
you talk
I
and you lie and you
I can't
drink all our
explain it.
mead. Now I think it's high
With
time
you,
that
though,
lie down
I
and
feel I can be
bleed."
so open,
So then
so
keep flashing
happy,
and slashing
so
steel as the
carefree.
brave lass
Come to
Matilda
think of
charged
it,
in full of
I was
steel.
guarded to you once. I treated you just as I had treated others, with indifference and apathy.
When his ugly red
I
held
didn't
her
want
round on the
anything,
floor.
or anyone, to be close. I didn't know it was possible to feel something for a complete stranger at the time. But the next thing I knew, we were together, sharing drinks, making love in the most beautiful places in all Tamriel.
You really like to bring that up a lot.
I was already living out my maiden dreams.
Do you think our romance happened a bit too fast? She's like, oh, well, now that you mention it.
It might have been, but I don't think that's important here. What matters is that I chose you, and you chose me. None of us forced anything upon each other.
Well, the whole
Rushed
calm spell thing,
or
but
not, it is wonderful to have you.
you did manipulate me, but, you know. What about your past? Have you managed to move past that already?
I still have my nightmares. I acknowledge them, but I don't let them control me. Not anymore. It's hard, but the only thing I can change about the past is how I feel about it in the present. I can't change what happened with Molag Bal. I can't change the... because that happened. You came along and helped patch me up. It was not only you, but you were a big help. I can see what you've given me. Actual intimacy, not a facade done through the guise of control, domination, degradation. I experienced it as a true blessing. With you.
It just always looks like she's
Thank
gonna
you
punch
for
me in
that.
the face. It's the one animation she does. It looks like she's just gonna knock me out.
But then came the tongues
You know,
on that
this
terrible
song's about
day.
me.
Hello, my love. You already know what I'm going to say, don't you?
Something about sex again? No, I'm not sure I do.
It's alright. I love you. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
It's not something I'm ever going to get tired of saying. Let's go somewhere. To the beach, actually. Preferably
Beach?
somewhere along the northern coast. I just want to feel the sand on my feet and the ocean breeze on my skin. That can be the place for our next little date.
Sure thing.
Great. Let's head off.
Man, back-to-back dates. There's no stopping you, is there?
Sounds good. Hey, is that what I think it is? Just put it away.
What? The Bow of Oriel? I'm keeping the bow.
Why?
Why not? Despite its original purpose, it did put a stop to your father's plans.
Oh, I see. If you put it that way, then... yeah. Maybe the bow's alright, after all.
The bow's not the issue. The bow's fine. What do you got against the bow?
Just standing on the ocean shore. It was my favorite pastime, back on the island. Whenever my father was not in the best mood, I'd run outside and sit by the castle shores, look into the distant horizon. The vastness of the open sea, kind of reminds me that my problems may not be the biggest thing in the grand scheme of things. Because there I was, just another little dot on that small island.
Ooh,
Hey,
all
I
synced
just
up.
want to
Look at
enjoy
that.
this moment here with you, us, by the beach, in front of these ocean waves. Just to reflect how far we've gone, how far we've traveled, through the thick and the thin, through all the circumstances. A vampire and, when I first met you, a vampire hunter. Two people that would normally be at each other's throats, now enjoying drinks and kisses by the beach, yearning to spend more of the future with each other. Don't say anything. Just let me talk. I have some thoughts I'd like to let out. I'm so proud of our relationship and how it progressed, despite all odds, both external and internal. I love you. I really do. In the 1,000 years I've walked on Nirn, you are the best thing that's happened to me. Here's to the future, and whatever it may hold. We go through this, and we go through it together. You're a great alchemist. You know that, right? And that's coming from me, so it means something. So, what's on your mind?
What's on your mind?
Back when, you know, I still saw mortal food as rather appetizing. To the eyes, at least. But I could never really stomach it. But now, I can gorge on whatever I want, like this sweet roll.
Oh, okay.
Delicious.
Oh boy. All right. There's no mystery left in the romance now, is there?
Hey, do you have a minute?
What is it?
About my mother. Wouldn't it be a good time to visit her again? To let her know that my father is... You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I think it'd be a good idea.
Great, but I can't help but feeling worried. What if she sees that I'm human again?
Well, a vampire mother is still a mother. You'll be fine.
Yes, I did say that once. Thanks for keeping my spirits up. Hey, so...
Oh. Yes, Serana?
I'm afraid this is where we'll part ways. Well, not like before, when we first got to the island. I'll just need to take some moments in there with my mother. Thank you for everything you've done. Not just for me, but for my family. My father's, but the father I knew from when I was a child. He would have been proud of what you've done. I know you want to go in there and help support me, but this is something I need to do alone. I'll see you back here when I'm done.
You have to drop down? Yep, I had a feeling. As Serana departs, you're left to wonder about the unknown journey ahead of her. Despite your deep bond, she's resolved to tackle this family issue alone. A personal journey that began with her, and she's determined to finish it. Hours tick by as you wait anxiously, beads of sweat trickling down your face. Just as hope begins to fade, a figure appears on the horizon. It's Serana, striding towards you with a purposeful gait. Your heart swells with relief and anticipation, eager to hear how her family conundrum has turned out. I'm looking at the wrong horizon, to be fair. I'm looking out at the horizon. I don't know what I'm going to see out there.
Hey, I'm back.
How'd it go?
I'd rather not talk about it.
You know I'm here to help.
I don't want to talk about it, not even with you.
I mean, it's personal.
Sorry. You've been so helpful to me all this time, and I do appreciate everything you've done.
I understand.
There's just some things I need to keep to and deal with on my own. You weren't there for the previous 2,000 years I was around. Yes, I talked about it. Some of it, at least. But what I've shared doesn't even come close to the complexity that was this mess. You weren't there for the previous 2,000 years I was around.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I talked about it.
All right.
Some of it, at least. But what I've shared doesn't even come close to the complexity that was this mess.
Okay, that has to be fixed. Serana?
If you want to know how it went, I can say this. It didn't go well. Not at all. But what did I expect? How foolish of me. That I could just talk to her now and everything would be fine? If there is hope for my family to recover, it will take time. Time I'm not sure I think I have.
It wasn't all that bad, right? You're standing not as purposefully now. You were walking towards me with a purposeful gait, and now you lost it. You sounded a lot more confident in the message on screen.
No, it wasn't. At the very least, my mother and I agreed to start exchanging letters from now on. I'm not in the shape to physically spend time with her. Letters should do the trick, at least for now. She still doesn't trust you.
Well,
at all. So these will be strictly private messages between her and me. And to respect her wishes, I'll keep it that way. So, no peeking, alright?
yeah, I understand. I mean, it'd be really weird if I just went through your letters.
It's a start. A good one. Thanks for bringing it up. Almost forgot about it a bit there. Now, let's get back home. I could certainly use some ale in my belly right now.
You drink a lot. you drink and bring up drinking a lot. You must be a Nord.
Yeah.
That's how I feel leaving the Soul Cairn, yeah. There's no fast travel points, so we came all this way for me to walk across the Soul Cairn for you to talk to your mom, and now I gotta walk all the way back. It's not great. It's not ideal.
Barkeep, I'd like a drink.
Of course.
Thanks. Oh, what is it?
You wanna have a drink?
Sure thing. Do you want to have it standing here, or do you want to find a seat first?
Let's just stand this time. I remember you getting stuck in the pillar last time.
Alright. Now, on to the drinks. Do you want to have mead, wine, or just plain milk?
Just mead this time.
Okay, then.
Cheers.
Why not let me run the ski?
Likewise.
I already know lots about it.
Any thoughts on
Don't
what's
be a
been going
silly
on
girl.
lately?
Our
Running a bar is
adventuring
no
has
job
been
for a
getting
young
more
lady.
tiring
Way
lately.
to let Auntie
It's
buy
as if
that
the
for
world
Dragon
is
Boat.
responding to your
He runs a
growing
bar, and he
power.
said
Level
he's one of
scaling,
your
am I
favorite
right?
girls.
As you get stronger, enemies get stronger.
Well, you see,
Which is
that's
why
a little
stress relief
complicated,
is all
and
the more important.
You know what?
I know you want it.
Okay.
Just ask, and this girl is all yours.
Everything always comes back to
what do you
sex
say?
with her.
Up for a little combat training later?
Like, what if we just had a regular conversation without
could learn
you
some of that,
making
Sean.
it about
I'm just
boning?
good with bows, not people.
You'd make a better
Marrying
Imperial
you
Ranger
was
than
the
me.
best decision
I may
I've
have
ever
charmed the
made in my
locals,
life.
but
See,
my fellow
that's sweet.
soldiers hated my
I love you.
waggling tongue.
And no matter what the future holds, I'm going to cherish every moment.
See,
it's
that's
like
better.
from the stories I used to hear, the two adventurers seeing the world. When we're done with this little tavern date, what do you say? Let's go out there and make some more stories.
What I will say is that I don't have the
good week,
dialogue
my boy.
options from the
Loud customers
first
means
date, so I'm
good
wondering
cheer.
if I
Good
can get
cheer
back to
means a
those
full till.
on another
You know, I have to
date at all,
retire
or if I
and
did
leave you
lose
to
out
run
on
the
them
ski
because I
beside.
just said, hey, we're done for now.
I don't know,
I
Father.
know.
There's a whole world
All
out
right,
there
Han
I
Solo.
wanna see.
Oh,
I
here we
can
go.
run skeever. You even
Anything
said
been on your
I'm as
mind
smart
lately?
as you.
A girl running a bar. Don't be
Growing up back
ridiculous,
on the
man.
island, I barely
What about
left the
Aunt
castle.
Vida and
Most of my
Dragon?
knowledge from the
She
outside
runs a
world
bar,
came
and
from
you said
books.
She's one of your favorite girls.
However, most of even that is sadly out of date,
Well,
by
you
at
see,
least several
that's A little
centuries.
complicated. And
Talk about a fish
You
out
know
of
what?
water.
Never mind.
That's why I need you to show me around this wonderful land. Be a good guide for this old relic.
Fiona, where did you learn to make bows so well?
Sippy sip sip.
The same
So,
place I learned my charm
what do you
and
want to
quickness.
talk about now?
I used to be an Imperial Ranger.
Do you
my
believe
boy.
people can change to be
Wish I
intrinsically
could
better
learn some
and
of that,
more
Sean.
understanding?
I'm just good with bows,
I do believe
not
that we
people.
can. I've read a
You'd
similar
make a better
concept
Imperial
before.
Ranger than
The
me.
good place.
I
It
may
was
have
in
charmed
the
locals,
new
but
type
my fellow
theory
soldiers
proposed
hated
by a
my
Dwemer
wagging
philosopher
tongue.
long ago.
I'm gonna say the good place.
He said that if men and Mer alike cast aside the shackles of what has binded them to selfish squabbles and struggles to power, they could mentally evolve, in a sense, to be higher beings, new types. People who can more easily detect the thoughts and intentions of others, and are more admissible to understanding. I would like to remember the name of the book, or the author, but I'm afraid it's been lost to time.
I'd like to talk about something else.
All right. So, what do you want to talk about now?
Frankly, your drinking problem. What do you think of our companions? I'm curious what she's gonna say because we don't have any right now.
Oh? Which one?
Oh, well, you weren't supposed to ask that. Hey, what do you think of Lydia? Or Lydia? How about Lydia?
She's loyal, I can tell you that much. But maybe I feel she could brighten up a little. With her, it seems like everything is based off of duty. It's like she's never had fun in her life.
Well, what are your thoughts on dungeon delving?
Don't you ever get tired from these kinds of adventures? Venturing into a decrepit, dusty old crypt, skulking with Draugr and traps.
I get that question quite a lot after 12 years. No. As long as it's new, as long as it's fresh. Not really.
And why is that?
I love adventure.
Me too. Maybe I'm just tired of this whole dungeon thing.
Thanks, Serana. That was a good talk.
It's nice, spending time like
She's
this.
gonna punch me.
Just having drinks together.
Fiata, where did you learn to make
And
bows
there we
so
go. We got the
well?
bonds of friendship
The same
added.
place I've only
Again.
been a part of the
Now, this is going to be a little bit of a longer review. Let me start by saying that on a technical level, this is an incredibly impressive mod. The amount of time that it takes for a full revoice of an NPC with Serana's amount of dialogue, plus the near flawless integration with the DLC questline with the new conversations, triggers, and so on. And I think Kirsten as a voice actor did an incredible job of voicing Serana's original lines. When I first started Dawnguard, I was worried that it was going to sound really jarring to hear another voice coming from Serana, but Kirsten did an amazing job at making these lines sound similar enough, while still bringing her own spin and interpretation to the lines.
It's on an island near Solitude. Hopefully we can find a boat to take us there. It's my family's home, not the most welcoming place, but depending on who's around, I'll be safe there.
The mod acts as a really fleshed out, really comprehensive new follower experience overall, giving Serana the ability to train you in a handful of skills, including destruction, conjuration, and speech, or getting to talk to her about learning how to ride a horse. She gives you gifts occasionally, and you can give her gifts too. She has various lines about the different cities and other locations throughout the game. As a follower mod, functionality-wise, this is probably one of the more in-depth ones out there. And now, shifting gears, let's talk a little bit about the writing. And let me just quickly say that even the lines that I dislike myself have nothing to do with the acting. I don't know if any actor could have made these lines work for me personally. The mod is, to put it lightly, horny.
Do you think I'm beautiful? Alluring even? Ravishing? Do you want me? Why don't we make Debella blush? Right here, right now, like there's no tomorrow. I'd like to explore this land, but first, your body.
Some of the romance is written decently, and there are lines that are really well done, where Serana expresses her doubt that she could ever truly trust someone after everything she's been through. Or the conversation where she tells you that she used the charm spell when you first met, which frankly helps to explain why Bethesda doesn't just let you kill her immediately. It's moments like these that work well, and felt like a fairly natural addition to the character. But man, oh man, do they really beat you over the head with the fact that this version of Serana wants to bone. During the Dawnguard story, the romance is first initiated coming out of the Soul Cairn, although there's some awkward flirting moments even before this. But after the Soul Cairn is the first time that you can make it clear that you're more romantically interested in her, and you share a kiss, which without other mods installed, is a quick fade to black with a little message pop-up. Some of the more sexual stuff first comes up during your trip to the Ancestor Glade in order to read the Elder Scrolls. She has a little bit of a breakdown, telling you to take her there and now, and that the two of you could make Dibella blush. To continue the romance, you do have to turn her down and reassure her that you're there for her. Similar discussions continue throughout the Dawnguard story, and after Harkon's defeat is when you can focus more on the dates, the marriage, and so on, as you saw in these videos. Having just played the vanilla version of Dawnguard a few months ago as part of my Skyrim modded playthrough, I feel like I have a different interpretation of Serana than the mod author does. To me, Serana was a character that was hesitant to trust you, and for good reason. But she warms up to you and opens up as time goes on. She asks you about your family, about your life. She talks about how it wasn't easy growing up with her family being the way it is. And she comes to the realization that ultimately both her parents used her. And she trusts you not to do the same as them. But she comes from a clan that worshipped Molag Bal, and obviously carries the trauma from becoming a daughter of Cold Harbor. Something that, with the right dialogue options, she's willing to renounce and begin a new life as a mortal again. To me, the vanilla Serana has a sense of humor, a warmth to her, and one of the best moments that shows this is right before you go into the Soul Cairn, when she tells you that she would never do anything to hurt you. And yeah, by the end of the Dawnguard story, I see how a romance could have made sense for her, and Bethesda did plan on it at some point before scrapping it for the DLC's full release. Because of all that, I think there is a way to make a romance with Serana work, to make sense, to fit with the original depiction of the character. I just don't know if the mod is very true to that at times. Some of the new lines in SDA during the dates are really sweet, with her telling you more and more about how she's come to trust you. Having the marriage ceremony be less traditional and not take place in a Temple of Mara is fitting for Serana's character. At the end of the day, she doesn't need other people there or some big religious ceremony in a temple. Having it be just the two of you in a place where your adventures led you makes perfect sense. And that component of it was a great choice in the mod's writing. And then there's other moments that just immediately go in the opposite direction of what I wanted, and for me don't necessarily fit for the character. So hearing Serana say she wants to take just a little nibble of me, or that she wants to make Dibella blush, I feel like I'm reading a Twilight fanfiction. I don't really need to hear Serana sing, I don't need her to have Star Wars prequel memes, to have fourth wall breaking moments, and Halo references.
Mechanical intelligence. The first one. Cortana, it was called.
Which are on by default, by the way.
You're no fun, but fine.
Because all of that makes me feel like I'm not playing Skyrim anymore. It really feels like they made Serana a lot younger and a little bit more immature. It's not my favorite direction for the character overall. I think the vanilla Serana has moments where she is a bit more awkward in her interactions, but this feels just a little bit over the top. In some ways, I think the writing suffers from telling us, not showing us, at times. A great example would be the couple times that Serana just brings up, oh, my trauma, by the way. It just doesn't feel like a natural way for the character to convey their past, to discuss it. When in the vanilla iteration, you have to get more of those details from Valerica, Harkon, and so on. One piece of writing in the mod that I really enjoyed, though, was Serana going to talk to her mother. I really like that it happens off-screen, as it's something that she has to do on her own. The way it's handled makes perfect sense for the character, the situation, and so on. This was probably one of my favorite moments in the mod. It serves as a way of showing that Serana wants to move past what happened to her, to try and salvage some part of her family. There are countless Serana model and texture replacers out there, but as I mentioned, I opted for Trueblood, which Marty intends to be the companion mod to SDA. While it's not my ideal replacer, I really appreciate the FO mod options when you first install it. This gives you the ability to make a lot of different choices, including hair color, style, outfit, and so on. I tried to go for the closest to the original Serana, and opted to use Cathedral's NPC overhaul, which I already had installed. But she still stood out a fair bit. Like I said though, you can use any Serana replacer that you like, and I appreciate that flexibility from the author. For me personally, I feel like this is a version of Serana that feels a bit incompatible with the original. And at the end of the day, I think it boils down to what you're looking for. Personal preferences and all that. Are you looking for the more bubbly, sing-song vampire companion who calls you good-looking and you awkwardly flirt with and make Skyrim meme jokes with? Because if you are, this is right up your alley. And clearly, from the amount of downloads, endorsements, and so on, there's a lot of people for whom this version of Serana has clicked. But if you're looking for something that feels a little bit more true to the original character, this might not hit the mark for you. I continue to be impressed by the amount of content they added, the level of integration, the support for other companions, quests, and so on. This is a really astounding technical achievement in modding. I had really no bugs, no glitches, nothing that couldn't have been attributed to the base game, or weirdness from animation mods. The fact that Marty is working on a new follower mod, one that will be completely new to the game, is really exciting to me. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do with an original character, with a new quest line, their own backstory, and so on. But for SDA, it feels less like an add-on to the Serana that I already enjoyed, and more so the author's version of what they wanted Serana to be. Vanilla Serana makes one throwaway joke about sleeping with an Elder Scroll. That's as horny as it gets in Vanilla Dawnguard. Given how well known this mod is, I'm glad I finally had a chance to play it. Kirsten is a fantastic voice actor who helped to bring this version of Serana to life. And the quality of the re-recorded lines cannot be understated. If you haven't played Dawnguard in years, you might not immediately realize that she was recast for the mod. And once again, Marty has shown an incredible technical knowledge of Skyrim and its creation kit. So I want to thank them for the hundreds, if not thousands of hours of hard work that they have put into this mod, and continue to support more than 3 years later. As always, if you'd like to support the channel, check out the Patreon or the YouTube memberships, both of which get access to my Discord server, not to mention the occasional behind-the-scenes content and updates. And finally, if you'd like to see me play games other than Skyrim, check out my streams at twitch.tv/0periodproductions. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.